Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm just gonna fix this super quick. There you go. Hi, welcome back to my channel. I am super excited that you are here. This is me, Diana, focus on now, and we are gonna talk about today about relationships, but really tricks that you really haven't seen or heard of yet about relationships, and this can be any kind of relationships. This can be partners, like lovely relationships. This can be friendships, and this can be family or coworkers too. So any kind of relationships, all of these tips will apply. So I am super excited that you guys are joining here. And also, I just wanted to remind you that Diana Focus on Now is a place for dreamers that are really just want to get that motivation, that actual plan to get where your dreams are right now. You're thinking that you really want to do it, but then actually living and doing your dreams as you are right now. So everybody has dreams and it's important to accomplish them because that's who you are. So let's dive in. This is going to be a quick one too because there's literally 3 tips, and believe me when I tell you they're super helpful because I've been applying these for like 3 years, I guess, kind of a little bit more maybe. But then I learned these tips by experience, by like relationships that I had, friendships that I had, and now these are the tips that I'm suggesting you to apply right now because they're super helpful. So there's 3 tips. The one is called screw you, and the second one is called fuck it, and then the third one is called sorry. Um, okay. So the first one is screw it. That it also combines with fuck it, but let me explain. You'll be like, what the hell are you talking about, Diana? But don't worry, I will explain everything. Chill. Okay. So screw you is 3 parts. Okay. The first one is the situations. So when we're in situations that are like in difficult with like our values and our, beliefs that you're saying, like for example, if somebody said that you're not good enough or you need this and you need that, but really deep down you know that you don't need those things, right? So now we're thinking about situations that pushes you in a bad way, not in a good way, in a bad way, that you have to put yourself first. So for example, if you have a friend that is like that bad vibe, negative energy, that negative persons, that I had a video about that too in this YouTube channel, you can check that out. But just having that negative person and just talking about negative things that you did or that you have done in your past life, and it's not motivating at all, and you're just after talking to that person or even being with that person just draws all of your energy, right? So this is very important to say screw it, right? Because you have to put yourself first, and not in a way to be egoistic, but in a way that brings and have those boundaries with you, right? So this is very important for people to understand that you have to put yourself first in order to be in a relationship. And I feel like a lot of people don't even understand that until they are in a relationship. They get hurt a lot of times, and then you have to put yourself first, meaning you have to take care of your body, you have to take care of yourself, of your mental health, and everything. And we teach that here in Focus on Out too. So this is very important to have everything balanced in your life before going to a relationship. So if that relationship, that remember relationship can be a friendship, coworkers, your boss, whatever it might be, right? But that relationship makes you put them first. No, I have to do this at work or I have to do that. Obviously, do your work. I'm not telling you not to do your work, but just put yourself first. So if you're staying late nights at work, is that actually valuing yourself? Like work does not value your time and your efforts. Think about those things. If your friends are valuing your time, valuing what you're saying, your opinions about life, all of those things come together in this. I know it's kind of funny tip, but it's really honest to yourself, being like, no, I don't allow this kind of judgment or this kind of like negative energy that I don't want to be around. You don't, deep down, you don't want to be around those things and those people. And that's why it's very important to just say, screw it. I don't want to be around you. And you're gonna hurt some people, but that's okay. And that's okay because you're protecting yourself. I'm not saying like just say it in a mean way, but just protecting your energy and protecting yourself from getting hurt, because those people are hurting you. So if it's, for example, if somebody's cutting you, literally cutting you with a knife, and you're just allowing them to cut you, and they're just like, no, wait, stop, screw you, I don't want to be cut anymore. This is a very exaggerated, version of it, but you get the point. So it's very important to any type of relationships, put yourself first, right? Make yourself needs, all your self-care and everything that we're going to also talk about all this in this channel too. So it's very important to put yourself first, okay? So if somebody's talking to you and you don't allow that, screw them, screw that person. This can be your boss, and this can be your boyfriend, or this can be your family member. You just have to put those limits, but also be gentle in putting those limits, right? When you're putting those limits, tell them like, hey, I don't really like these things that you do, or what you say, how you act around me. So it's very important to tell them those things, even though they might be hurt, but you're protecting yourself too. You're protecting all of your wounds too, because you don't want to get cut all the time. Like, who wants to do that? So that comes into the second one, that is valuing yourself. You have to be worth it, meaning that you have to take care of yourself. You're worth. You have to be confident on yourself. You have to worth yourself, meaning that, like, for example, of that bad negative person that is talking to you, and you're just saying like, you're not capable of doing this dream, blah 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 blah, then you're just like, no, I know I'm capable of doing this dream, so please don't talk about like that. Putting those limits and putting those boundaries, it's super key. We're working with a coworker, any boss, relationships, anything. So it's very important to put those boundaries right now. Even though if you haven't done them in the past, you can start right now. So start today. Focus on the now, like I always say. Focus on what you can do right now. If you know there's like certain people that you really don't want to talk to, just because they have those bad negative energies, or you're gonna get hurt when talking to them, or just expressing something to them, an opinion or something, then you need to value yourself and understand that you have to put that limit there. You need to understand yourself and be like, okay, I don't like when people talk bad about me, so I'm just going to put a limit to that person, right? And I'm telling you, life is going to test you. Life is going to be like, there's going to send you another person or the same person again, and then you have to be rigid with yourself and be like, no, I don't accept this, right? So that's also very important. And also have a clear intention with that person, being on the same page. And I feel like that's super key. Communication with that other person. Like I said, this can be any relationship, anywhere, boss, whatever, friendship, whatever you want, right? So being clear to that person, look, I am looking for a red pen. Just super general idea, right? I'm looking for a red pen here. And then she gives me, or he gives me, a pen. But I'm like, no, I need a red pen, but it gives me this. So, that's bad communication. That's either you communicating with that person or them communicating with you. And this happens a lot. And this actually happened to me a very couple of times until I understand the value of communication, even with jobs and businesses and friendships. This is super key because for example, if I want a red pen and that person wants a black pen, they're two totally different things. And then, I could say, oh, I could be a black pen, that's totally fine. Just because, you're accustomed to that person, but then you really, really are going to have a lot of trouble mixing, being with a black pen because you're the red pen, right? You're going to have trouble mixing with that red pen, being with a red pen, the black pen, sorry, because you're not the same, right? You're not communicating with each other understandably. So that is super key, being in the same page. And this can be, and is super key, super, super key to understand this at work. Why? Because my boss can tell me, Diana, I need a purple pen. Like, I'm just getting pens just because I have pens here, but I need a purple pen. And then I'm like, yeah, sure, you need a purple pen, right? And she's like, yeah, I need a purple pen. I'm like, oh, okay, perfect. And then I go back and like, and I come back and then I have a black pen, and you're like, oh, here you go. It's just like, you know, what the hell? Why are you giving me a black pen? I told you a purple pen. And you're like, oh, yeah, okay, I got it. That's also another key that I might do another video about this or not. Let me know in the comments below. That's very key to understanding, verifying what she or he is saying before you go and do your own job, right? This can still applies to any relationship, anything, right? So super key to verify, like, hey, are you actually telling me a black pen or a purple pen? Like, please clarify me this. And this is not to be just because, oh, I forget things or whatever it might be, but it's more about verifying that you are sure, 100% sure that it's going to be a purple pen. And it assures you're going to find the purple pen, but it's going to assure them too that they know that you're going to find a purple pen. Okay? So being on the same page. Okay? So that if you're not in the same page in meaning in the relationships, I'm talking about loving relationships, you have to say, just like, if I want a serious relationship, but they don't want a serious relationship, like, why are you there? Why? Yeah, it's fun to hang out, but then are you deep down really wanting a serious relationship, but then you're just sticking with him or her just because you like to be a serious relationship, but if you ask them, I mean, if you haven't communication being the same page, but if you ask them, they don't want a serious relationship, but you don't want a serious relationship, then really think about that relationship. Be like, do you really want to stay with that person? Do you want to just be friends with that person? Or, are you going to go on your own way? Right? It's very tough decisions, but it's very important to be on the same page with that person, with any person, or any relationship, any friendship. So that's clear. The second tip I'm going to give you is about fuck it. And I know I'm kind of saying swear words a lot, so I'm sorry. But when you're like this, honestly, tell me on the comments below if this is you too, because if you think about a lot of things, and when I mean a lot of things, it's not like I want to paint this, I want to paint that, but it's more like there's 100 million trillion ideas passing through your head at the same time, and you're just like, I really, really, really don't know what to do. Like, you're just like so blocked by all the things that are going around you and everything. And you really have to think about, don't think, act. And there's a saying in Colombia that I like to say, like, if you think, you lose. El que piensa pierde. And that is so true, because if we think about things too much, then we end up not doing things. For example, if I want to write a journal or write a book, then that's a really big project, but you get the idea. If I want to write a book, and then I'm just staring at the pen, like, what should I write about? Like, what would be chapter 55? Why is it gonna be this one? Why if I'm not good enough? Why if I don't know how to write? Like, I tell good stories, but I don't know. And you just think, like here, me and my desk right now, I'm just thinking, like, maybe I can write a book, but I really want to write a book, but I don't know where to start. And they're just thinking and thinking and thinking, but you're never acting. You're never, okay, let's start by writing something today. That could be 1 page, that can be 50 pages, but just something. Just instead of thinking, just act. The other one, what the fuck it one is learn to say no. Boy, let me tell you one thing that I've learned in life is to say no. Let me just drink a little bit of water. Telling no is the biggest thing and the greatest thing you can ever learn in your entire life, I will say. Apart from all those tips that I'm telling you guys. But being super real here with me, if you know how to say no to yourself and to other people, that is the biggest gift that you can have. Why? Like, why, Diana? Like, you can say no. I can say no. Okay, you can say no to, like, when they're serving you food and they're like, oh, I don't want onions, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, you can say no. But can you say no to an opportunity? Can you say no to, a job that you might not fit what you really want? Can you say no to, like, favors that your family are giving you? It's like, oh, hey, can you do me a favor? Like, sorry, I'm busy. Can you do those hard no's and learn how to say those no's in order for you to put boundaries? And putting boundaries, as I said in the first one, is super key to protecting yourself, for doing self-care. This is literally, putting boundaries is a big form of self-care, because not also you're taking care of yourself, but you're taking care of your space. Because if you don't put boundaries, people will put boundaries for you. And that is the biggest issue that a lot of people are suffering. That's why I wanted to do this live and talk to you about this stuff, because I've seen, and I personally have been experienced these things, because you just feel so small, because if you move, like, to the right, they're like, oh, why are you moving to the right? you know just super simple things, but it builds up. So if you know how to put no and put those limits right now, if you haven't done that already, put them now. But then I can do another video of how to put limits and stuff like that. But if you want that, let me know in the comments. um put boundaries so you can breathe, so you can be yourself, you can have an opinion about things. You can have an opinion and not being like, oh, Diana, that's not true. Or like, well, you say it's wrong, I have a fact that says blah 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 blah. you know Putting those boundaries is super key in any kind of relationship. Okay, saying no is, as you know. Wow, that's funny. uh, Then the other one is saying and telling somebody your feeling. And boy, believe me, I was not good at this. and and I honestly slowly been, testing the grounds, like you say, testing the grounds, like, okay, I'm gonna tell this person my feelings. And I'll say like, I love you, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But then the feelings, if you're angry at them, like, hey, I'm really angry at you because of this, or this. I really didn't like when you said this. Or I'm really sad right now because you did this, or I thought about this. Those are the things that are super important to say to another person. And not to blame the other person, I'm not telling you to blame other people, but expressing yourself, expressing your feelings. It's super helpful for you to release those feelings. Even write them down if you want them. But just releasing those feelings, you will feel a ton better. Trust me on that. So when you have a misunderstanding, for example, at work or in a relationship, and you say it like, I'm just giving you the pen examples. I don't know why. Thumbs up if you like the pen examples. Let me know. But if that person wants a red pen and I'm a black pen, right? And then we're together, in a relationship, but I really want that purple pen to be a black pen. But clearly, clearly I know it's a red pen, right? So you have to tell them and be like, okay, purple pen. I don't know why am I using pens, but okay. Hey, purple pen. I really want you to be a black pen, and I know you can't. So I need to value myself. I need to say no to you because I don't feel comfortable, whatever it might be, the feeling that you have, the things, the events, maybe the events that happen to them, and this purple pen also has to listen to that person, right? And not just saying like, oh, that's like BS, whatever you want, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. They also have to listen. So that's another thing. If they don't listen, then that's another story. But it's really important to say your feelings with the other person, especially your family, your friends. Like, hey, I didn't really like when you talked bad about me, or hey, I didn't really like what you said about me, or hey, I didn't like when you said you like purple pens. Whatever it might be. But just expressing that, like, you don't have to say that in a group of people. You can say that at one-on-one, and you definitely should say that one-on-one. Just for the record, just say that one-on-one. Hey, like, hey, can we talk? Let's just talk for a little bit. Let's grab coffee. One day, whatever it might be, and then just saying like, hey, you know, this is how I feel. Like, remember that moment when we were like in a reunion with all my friends in the barbecue, whatever it might be, and you're like, you said that thing that I really didn't like, and it made me feel blah 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 blah. You need to learn to say that. Even like go journal this. And believe me, I have like 3, 4, 5 journals at this point. But just journal it. If you don't want to say it to that person, you definitely should say it to that person. But if you are still like into that feeling, then you just write them down. If you don't want to write it down, say it to like a voice note to yourself or to another friend. Talk to another friend like, hey, I didn't like when Pepita, we do that in Spanish, when Pepita said that about me. And they're like, yeah, that makes sense, whatever. Or like, no, look at her opinion about this, and then you have the whole thing. So stating your feelings with another person is super key. The third and last tip I have for you guys is screw you. Like, screw you in the sense of like, we're done. We are done. We're done. And this can mean you end up with a relationship with somebody, or being that can be a loving relationship or a friendship, like I said before. any kind of relationship. So we're done. Like, we're done. I don't want to be around you. I don't want to speak with you. And remember, just being aware, like, don't be like, okay, bye, see you next time, but saying it with love, like, really, I really don't want to talk to you anymore. I don't feel comfortable around you. That could hurt some people. That's why I said that it's okay to hurt some people, because you are protecting yourself, right? But if you say that you're not comfortable with that person, right? Saying that, not saying like, oh, you did this and you did this and then like that, and blah, 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 and like blaming them for how they act. And you should never blame somebody for how they act. So if they're negative, if you're not want to be around them anymore, just stay your ground, or move away from those people, or don't even talk to those people anymore. You know, for example, if I have a friend that drawn me a lot of bad energy, and I was just very bad energy about her, and I was just like, you know what, I am done being around that person. I don't deserve to be around those persons that are bad energy, that are draining my energy. I'm a really positive, bubbly, and happy person, and I don't want to be a sad, depressing, like, ugh, I'm so tired with this person again about her thing and blah, 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 blah. You have to respect yourself. You have to respect yourself. And, like I said in the last one, put your limits. So ending with a person. The other one is understanding your values and not changing your values for that person. Boy, I'm going to just say that again, just for people to take notes, because I hope you're taking notes. But okay, so understanding your values. What are your values, first of all? If you haven't done that already, just pause this video super quick and write what are your values. This can be honesty, friendship, whatever it might be. Okay, pause this video and do that. Now, when you know your values, do not change them for any person. This can be the president of Dubai, or CEO of Facebook. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna say that. But then if he's not, or she's not with the same values as you don't have to change your values in order to fit with them. I'm gonna just repeat that one more time, because this is super key. Understanding your values and not changing your values to fit into that other person. And this means, if you like honesty, if you just want to be honest and true, like I'm doing right now, I'm pure honest and open here. But if that other person is not honest and is lying to you all the time, you don't have to accept that. You don't have to accept that relationship, even though that's friendship, whatever it might be. You don't have to accept that. They're lying. So put that boundary there. But don't accept that other person. Oh, she's lying, but I hang out with her all the time. But I know she's lying all the time. Like, why would you want to be around a person that lies all the time? I don't know. That's just my opinion. But that's kind of like a value. Being honest is a value, but don't change your value. Don't be dishonest with yourself and with that other person, to just be with that other person. And this, honestly, I have to tell you guys, it happened to me, relationship, in the sense of like loving relationships. And yeah, just gonna stay that there. So when I say to you, don't change your values, because you are who you are. Don't change who you are. Like, if you really like painting, like all of my paintings, just FYI, all of them are my beautiful paintings. A thumbs up if you like them. But if you like painting, and then the other person is telling you like you should not paint, painters don't like do any money, or it's really hard to paint right now. Like nobody's painting. Like what are you talking about? Painting is like old school or whatever it might be. Those negative talks that maybe you're telling yourself. That's another thing, but somebody else is telling you. You don't have to change what you are to comfort them. You don't need to comfort them. You have to comfort yourself first in order to comfort them. For example, if I am feeling down and I just need like a pizza, whatever it may be, and cry, I will go do that instead of just like, oh, I just feel icky and like, oh, but I just have to pass this day just because I have to pass this day. I try to value myself and value my feelings as much as possible. Okay, the next one is not only. Wait, let me mix that. I'm going to mix that. So that's kind of another one that says not only because a person loves you, you have to give everything to them. Not only because a person loves you, you have to give all of them, all of you to them. For example, if your mom loves you, your brother loves you, your sister loves you, that doesn't mean you have to give all of you to them. Sorry, all of you to them. Obviously, it's your family, right? But a key, like, asterisk or whatever it's called, here is you have to fill up your cup in order to fill others' cups, right? And we sometimes forget that. And this is super important to understand that you need to value yourself. And just because somebody tells I love you, you're like, oh, they love me. Like I have to be perfect and like dressed up and like, be perfect for them so they will love me back anymore, even more. You're like, no, they love me because who I am. If they don't love me, that's okay. That's okay if they don't love me or they don't like me, right? That is okay. We have to standardize that, please. Thank you. Standardize that it's okay to not like everybody. I don't like everybody. I like most of the people, but I don't like everybody. And not everybody likes me, and that's okay. I have no problem with that because I like myself, right? Be key there. And then the last thing is that to have your personal balance with your personal life and when you are in a couple. Okay, let me explain this super quick. So, when you're in your own life, meaning like, oh, I'm just gonna have a date with myself, have a coffee, or go to museums to go for a walk, all those things that I like to do, whatever it might be for you, those are the things that you like to do, right? You like to do those things. So here's the thing. If you like to do those things, but then you're a couple with, your boyfriend, but then he doesn't like to do those things, you don't have to compromise those things in order to please him. Let me say that one more time. If he or she, sorry, he or she doesn't like to go on walks or whatever you like to do, does not mean you don't have to like them. You don't have to like them in order to comfort him. Okay, so like I said, if you like walking, just walking anywhere, whatever, right? If you like walking and then he doesn't like walking, well, I still walk. That's my life, it's still my life. Just because I have a couple, like I have a boyfriend or my husband or whatever, I'm not going to stop being who I am, right? So have your own life still and being alive with your partner. So being alive with your partner is more like when you go on a date and then you go shopping or for whatever other activities that you go do together, right? This can be parties, it can be anything, but you do it together. Okay? this is a life as a couple because you do them together. Duh. But you also have your life, as like I mentioned, walks, whatever you like to do. So you do things that you like to do, but you do also things that you do together. And separating that life and not depending on the life of the other person. You know, for example, if I want to go coffee and I want to get coffee, but then I call my boyfriend, like, hey, let's go get coffee, just because I wanted to go get coffee. So I'm prioritizing couple's life. I'm just gonna call it couple's life. I'm sorry if you get the point. Um, couple's life instead of just me being alone. Like I really just really wanted to when I asked him to get coffee. I really just wanted time alone. So yes, you're gonna share. You know, gonna have a good time. It's not like I'm not saying that you're not gonna have a good time, but saying that what you really needed was that time for yourself. And taking time for yourself in any kind of relationship is also very important. And that is all for today. Thank you, everybody. I thought it was going to be very quick, but it didn't. But I'm very thankful for you to be here. Please share this live or this video, I guess, to anybody that really needs this, to hear this. Any tips that you'd be like, oh yes, Diana, that's so true, leave them in the comments. Also leave a lot of loves in the comments saying like, Diana, thank you for the comments or thank you for the tips. I really appreciate that. I love you guys. And that's it. Remember, we're gonna have videos every Monday and Friday. Friday, normally I feel like I'm planning to do those lives, Friday lives at 7 p.m. Time Colombia. So yeah, that's it. Thank you everybody for being here and have a nice weekend. Bye bye.